online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Candidly Nicole's After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. I'm Vivian Adobe, your host, and I'm here with my fellow fabulous co-hosts.
Hi, I am Brandon Marlowe. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BAMARLO.
And I'm Jordana Morphin, and you can follow me at Jordana_Morphin on Instagram and on Twitter.
And of course, you guys can follow me, Vivaciously Viv, on Twitter and on Instagram. So we're recapping our second episode this season, The Artist. And there was a lot of art of different forms going on. So we start off this episode, Nicole and Catherine, they go to an art show that's benefiting cats, because we all love our precious little kitties.
It's very LA.
It's so, well, I would think more LA is like a dog charity.
Well, I think LA has a charity for everything, and with good reason, but people who don't live in LA, everything is very high priced for things that you think, I could do that at home.
Like what? What can you do at home?
like the paintings, for instance, from this episode. There were a lot of things that I saw, and I was just like, well, that's not outlandish, but that's very LA.
It was very kindergarten drawings. Did you notice that? Like that one artist who had the rock everywhere.
Oh,
I felt like it was so kindergarten, preschool.
I was so for it, though.
Right.
That was my favorite
I like that,
exhibit.
though.
Am I the only one who thinks that with all art? Like, anytime I see something really great, and I have a couple artist friends, and this is not to knock any artists out there, because everything is so much easier until you do it yourself. And I'm like, that really looks like finger painting.
But yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. That's why it was funny.
Oh yeah, and there was a lot of different art forms in the art gallery that they did go to. So one of the first pieces that we were just talking about it was like 4 or 5 paintings that were depicting The Rock in different spaces of his life. They actually met the artist at the same time. I believe her name was Katie Kimmel. She came up to them and she wasn't too happy with their thoughts and their interpretations on her artwork. Didn't she look a little pissed off?
She was really upset. Nicole was just kind of bringing her down.
But she was hilarious. Nicole's like, this seems a little outlandish. It's $10,000. And she goes, well, no one's forcing you to pay $10,000.
Yeah.
So she was really giving it back to Nicole as quickly as Nicole was dishing it.
Right, and she was totally saying that she doesn't really care what people make as far as incomes. You come into this art gallery, and if you can afford this piece of art, like, take it for what it is.
Right.
And Nicole and Catherine's expressions throughout the whole conversation, priceless.
All I could think of is it's only worth what someone will pay.
Well,
like
and
there
it
was a lot of art
foreshadows
in there.
hers the same way people reacted to her.
Anytime you do something that is hands-on, it's like my mom did cakes professionally and no one saw the value in it. So it's very artistic when you see that and you're like, $10,000. But we don't know how long that took or the creative process.
The black canvas, though, I was with Nicole Richie when she said, I'm not paying $12,000 for a black canvas. I can go and pay a 5-year-old $2 and get the same quality of black canvas.
You could do it for probably 75 cents if you walk yourself into Michael's with that highlight that Nicole does not like, and you could do it yourself. I promise you that.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Wait, one question I had, though. You know how, I forgot his name, the guy who was in charge of...
Jensen?
Yeah. So when he was talking to Nicole about, you should do your exhibit, was hers for kittens as well?
Yes.
Hers was for the feline AIDS,
yes.
right?
Okay.
Which is a real thing. And this is not a joke. When my mom told me our cat had feline AIDS, apparently it's like cat leukemia.
Oh, wait, whoa.
So it's not really
That's
feline AIDS. It
okay.
is feline AIDS, but it's a real
AIDS
thing.
And leukemia are 2 different diseases
yes,
anyway.
but apparently comparable in cats.
Oh, okay.
So it's a real thing we can do charity for. I will draw something right here and we'll post it on and we'll get some money raised for Nicole's charity.
Remember last episode we were saying that, you learn something new every time you watch Candidly Nicole. Last time we were learning about business plans, and now we're learning about feline diseases.
Very thought-provoking.
Right.
Nicole is multidimensional.
It's like going to college all over again.
But better.
But better. And so much more fun.
Now, can we please talk about that Jesus painting?
Yes.
The Jared Leto?
Yeah, that
I
was
was
the
dying
best.
laughing.
What, and Catherine's like, that's not him, right?
Yes, but never said who it
Yeah.
was. But it's very obviously Jesus. Now, Jared Leto is like a very striking. I mean, he could play Jesus
He could
in
play
a
Jesus.
movie.
He could also play my future husband. Hello, Jared Leto.
Do you want to give him your Twitter handle again?
Vivaciously Viv.
There you go.
Cuffing season is around the corner. Yeah, so that was definitely a very enjoyable section of the show. But then going back to what you said about Jensen, he definitely pitched to Nicole that she should do her own art gallery. But, you know, you kind of have to be an artist to do that. So we...
But, you know, Nicole, she's all
yeah.
for it. She's of course.
She'll
well,
tackle anything. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, of course I can be an artist.
Right.
Like we all think.
That's
Right.
true, though. We really do think. I'm like, when I see art, pieces, I'm like, this literally, if you see like a cup fall and there's just like coffee everywhere, I saw something like that. People were walking around it. I like read it was like in a magazine or something. People were walking around it and they thought it was art, but someone literally just spilt it and they left it there.
Isn't that like when people see like a cracker or some piece of food and they look and they're like, that's Mother Teresa
Yeah.
kind of situation.
Well,
But
that's
it's
kind
like,
of what she was going for with all her pieces
Oh, true.
that she started making. It was just kind of random.
It is nice though that you really can make art out of anything.
Definitely.
Like you don't have to be an artist. I think that was the point that Nicole was saying is like I can do it because anyone can be an artist. And I think that's something like another thing we're talking about the show is educational.
Yeah.
It has a lot of the themes of the show have meaning. And
Yeah.
she's just like, I may not be a quote unquote artist, but I can make art. Anyone can make art. And she did a really good job, I thought.
Right.
I
and-
liked it too.
And she even mentioned going into the next scene that, I wonder how many classes Picasso took before he became this big artist. And that kind of leads her into her exploration period where she tries out a couple different art forms. We start off with her sketching class where she's going to a big art studio and everyone has easels and a male model walks in a nice robe and then boop, robe is gone. Commando, and Nicole was completely freaking out. It was so funny. What did you guys think of her reaction?
She looked like a 5-year-old when she was just like, when she started doing the push-ups, she
Oh,
got on
yeah.
the push-ups and she's like, oh, and she was like sweating from panicking.
I thought it was very Nicole. I thought it was produced. I thought that it was like no one would do that, but that's all what we think when we see that on something, or you're just like, how would anyone do that? I never took an art class where I had to do that, and I took a few. But I feel like that would be me. I'd be walking in circles. I'd be like, how do I even start? What do I do? What do I look at? What is okay to look at?
Should I make eye contact?
Right,
Should I
you
not
don't
look down
know.
there?
And so she made it really funny. She really spoke to what we all think and how we feel when we're watching those things because it's so uncomfortable.
Right, and she's like, it's too early in the morning for this.
Well, I like how she took a different perspective to it at the end. And she's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm just going to take my phone out. And she goes in front of the model and she starts taking pictures with the model. That's
Yeah.
totally something she would do.
Totally.
And then the guy, everyone's like, you can't take pictures of him. He's like nude. And she's like, well, I'm going to do my own. Like, what did she say? She's like, I'm going to make it my own. And she
Like her
started
own
editing.
interpretation.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she's like editing the picture.
Adding like signs and symbols.
Right. And then that's when the art teacher was saying, you should totally go into street art. And she
Right.
loved
I really
that
think he
idea.
was just trying to get her
Get her out of
class.
it. But she loved it, that idea. When he said it, she was like, totally. That's something I should definitely look into.
Okay, did anyone else notice the faces of the other classmates? Because this is what I wonder. A lot of these scenes look like they know what they're doing, they know what direction they need to take it, but I feel like some of these people are real. Like they
yeah.
pull people in from real art classes because some of them are so not amused.
Did you
They
see
would
that
be
one
like,
lady?
Yes,
That
she gave her
older
the
lady.
death stare. She
Yeah,
was like,
she's
"I'm not
upset.
interested. I'm trying to draw this man.
You're interrupting my
Get
art
out of
time.
here!"
Yeah.
Right? She's like, "I have 30 minutes between like soccer practice and making dinner."
And they had the wine, everyone had some wine at their easel, so this is her relaxing time,
Right.
maybe. Actually made me think of Sip and Paint, because that's so popular
yeah.
now. Except, Sip and Sketch.
That works too.
Yeah, that works too.
Copyright that and open something.
Thinking of more business ideas.
Right.
We just had the business idea last week. By the time we're done with this, we can be like moguls.
Probably.
There will be.
If Nicole can do it, we can do it. Anyone can be an artist.
Anyone can be an artist. So she goes through this class, does her pictures for her own art form, and then she decides to take what the teacher said to, take it to heart and go to a street art class. So she and her friend Jamie, who you remember from last episode, they go to a tagging class with an artist. And
Greg.
Yes, Greg. And one of the first things she asks is, "Are you Banksy?" Which I thought was kind of funny.
I thought that was hilarious. But so they did the graffiti as well.
Yes.
And then he took them out to tag. I just really liked how distant he was. He was just like, listen, I know the repercussions of this. You guys can do it. I don't care if there are camera crews here.
Right.
That makes me wonder. I'm like, okay, they have to have permits to do some of this. Like, I just wonder how much is really happening that they're out doing this and how much is set up for them, because that's a big risk when you're out doing things like that. If you're out tagging something or doing graffiti not in a safe space,
and you can't really be inconspicuous when you have all of this camera crew
Right.
and great lighting in the darkness of night.
I liked how she started asking him too, when she was like, "Well, what do I wear? Am I supposed to wear a hood? Do I wear all black? What do I do? What if
Is there
the
a
police
safe
come?"
word?
Yeah, is there a safe word? Police, banana. Or he was like, "You just say police if the police are coming." She's like, "What about banana?" Like, what, Nicole? What are you thinking?
I think they made it much more edgy than it really is. Because now it's like so many places you can't get permits for things, or they use the paint that washes away, and you can leave your stamp for a little while. But then it's got to go. The rain will come, and you'll have to tag somewhere else.
You use the water, the water safe ones. And did you guys notice their outfits for this scene? I was like, okay, so you're trying to be edgy, hip. That's like the total LA. I'm too cool for school kind of.
Also inconspicuous in a bandana. Like, if I'm doing that, I'm probably going to dress the exact same and, like, just do it as quick as I can.
Right.
And she's like, I want to be not seen at all. I'll wear this bandana over my face. I just really like Jamie in the background. Like, Nicole really took the lead on this one. And she was just, like, spray painting everything, running away, hiding in corners. It looked, as produced as it may be, it looked like a lot of fun.
It did look like a lot of fun. My favorite part of that whole scene was when they were tagging the chicken on the ground, and then he yells, "Police!" and she just like flips out and starts running away. And Jamie's like, "What do I do?" They're like just crouching down, like in the light. They had no idea where to go.
I just like how Nicole put her face to the wall. Like, wasn't actually hiding at all. She's just like, if my face faces the wall, no one will see me.
No one can see me. That was it reminds me kind of like what a 5-year-old do during like hide and seek. You can't see me. Or
coloring on your mother's wall. You're like, I'll just go stand in this corner. I don't know if anyone will or won't see me. If I face away, I can't see them, and that's all that matters.
Right. And then what was interesting, too, is that some of the pieces that they tagged, I guess they made it to her gallery later on, which I'm wondering, how do you just take a stop sign? That's like different pieces like that.
They also did the heart. Do you remember? At first when they were tagging it, I thought it was on the wall, but it must have been a sheet of something that they took, because it was a heart, and then she wrote something on it. And that was really, like, you see it a lot in the LA area. Anywhere that there's a big city, you'll see graffiti.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful. Like, if you get one that's well done, the wall that they were doing, I thought that was, like, exquisite.
Really,
I would do that on, like, a back fence. There's a lot of beauty, and he was kind of saying, like, you know, there's spray control, there's more to it than just,
there's
like, spraying a can at a wall.
Right. And it was really cool to see. And I really loved her Nikki Fresh sign.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
It was so cute. And I feel like we'll see the Nikki Fresh appear in future episodes as well. That alter ego of hers. It feels like a good fit.
I think a lot of the episodes are going to have symbols of the other episode. Like, did you notice they used the Shakatumi during this episode? Which I thought was very fitting. And it's kind of nice, even though all of the episodes are done so you only have to watch one and you wouldn't miss out on anything, but for those of us who watch the entire season, we'll get to pick up on the little things between the episodes.
Right. It's a nice way to carry it on and make you interested in watching them maybe sequentially so you can pick up the little things. Yeah, I was a big fan of that as well. And so yeah, she did that. They did the tagging class. They actually went out tagging, and now Nicole is ready for her art show. Her art gallery, benefiting felines, cats who have AIDS. So all of the pieces are together. The show is open.
A lot of new pieces that we never saw
saw
made, but she did that in her spare time.
Because she has so much spare time.
Maybe she got some help from her kids.
It did
It
actually
did look
seem like she
it.
had help.
The ones that looked like little people.
Mm-hmm. With like
Those,
squiggly hair.
little
They looked like
squiggly hair.
Rugrats to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought her kids did that one.
And
But
then-
when they showed her gallery, you know, they were like going around showing all her pieces. I really liked some of her pieces. They
I
looked
did
like,
too.
oh, those look kind of retro cool. But I mean, no one else
Do you know what
them.
do you know what I loved out of her gallery?
What?
Brandon. The
Yes,
guy
the
giving
guy.
commentary, and he
Oh
was
my
real.
gosh.
He had his phone charger around his neck. That lets you know he was probably in that gallery for about 8 hours, sitting at a wall, like any outlet he could find.
Right.
And then he's like, okay, now I get to give commentary to this, and he gave it real. He's probably like, I am hungry. I hate all of your art. I don't care that
Did
you're a
not pay me
celebrity.
enough money to be an extra for this show.
Right, this is terrible. But he gave it so well. He was as nice as could be. He's like, it's something. It's not what I like. I don't think it's good. I actually hate it, but good job for doing it. And I think
Right.
she did it.
And he had a good point too. He said that, a lot of the people here are your family and friends. So they're going to, of course, be nice and tell you sweet nothings about your artwork. But I don't know, it's not that great.
When I forgot the couple. There was like a couple looking at her
Yeah.
artwork, and they were talking, bad about her picture. I like how Catherine Power comes in, and she's like, "What are you saying?" And she was like defending Nicole. Do you remember
Yes,
that?
and she called them out for being hipsters, which I
Yeah,
thought
she's
was
like,
so
you,
funny.
You hipsters. And then, but I love that, how she's like, what are you talking about this art? And she was just like, going off on them.
I actually thought some of the art you would see places, because I've gone to
That's
like
what I
small
thought,
things for
yeah.
friends, or I've gone to independent openings, like you'll see a pop-up somewhere. And a lot of the stuff that I saw in there, I really wonder if it were other artists that she had brought in to maybe highlight on the show. Because some of it, I'm like, this is
Maybe,
actually
yeah.
pretty good. Like,
Well, actually, one of the artists, I don't think she meant to highlight her, but one of the artists that was there, she was like, I think this is kind of like my art.
Yeah.
And then Nicole's like, yeah, it's like sampling, like what P. Diddy does.
oh my gosh, that was so funny. When we were watching it, I actually made her rewind that to watch it over and over because I thought it was so funny. Sampling. Like, everyone does that now. It's just kind of like an unspoken rule. We can all take a little bit from each other.
Right, but sampling with art,
Right.
come on.
Like, literally the prints that she sketched in the class, Nicole took and put up on the wall. I thought that was probably one of the funniest parts of the episode.
Right, which was saying a lot because this was actually a hysterical episode.
Hysterical.
It was really funny.
The first episode, we were like, kind of lukewarm. This is, kind of a slow start to the season. But this episode, we were all dying when we were
All
watching.
in. It was, I like laughed out loud multiple times. And it takes a lot to do that because you become so in tune with her that you kind of think what she thinks is funny in like an off the cuff way. But there were times I was laughing out loud and I was like, oh my
Right.
gosh, Viv is going to kill me.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't going to kill you because I was trying to be professional and laugh in my head, but then you laughed out loud, so I joined in.
It was hilarious. I think this episode is different than the last one because it was very much like everything we've seen her do previously, that it's outlandish, but it's really her. The only thing I noticed is that they don't do the tweet anymore.
Yeah, they don't do
used
that
to highlight a
anymore.
tweet of something she posted, which I liked because people who really follow her can
Relate to it. and-
kind of see like,
yeah.
okay, this is what she posts. Maybe she'll do an episode on this. And this one they don't do anymore. So I don't know if they just create the episodes solely for the show now and don't use a tweet.
Actually, I think I was watching an interview at one point, and she said that she was getting ideas from other people about what they should do for the show.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I didn't know that they would kind of be exploring different, I guess, career paths or whatever the theme is for this season. But she did say she was kind of outsourcing the idea pool. So maybe, I guess, getting away from her own generation.
Her tweets weren't in the first season either, right? It was only on her web series, on her like short clip series.
Oh, the ones
Yeah.
on AOL?
Yes,
Yeah, her AOL
that's where they
sessions.
were on, because on season 1 they didn't bring up the tweets
No,
either.
and they did more commentary, I think,
Yeah.
which is a little bit different than they're doing this season. I think it's just being produced a little bit differently, but to your point, that is kind of nice that she's getting ideas from other people, and that's probably why we're connecting with these episodes so much more.
Yeah.
Because she is really funny, and she has a really great point of view, but everyone has thought this. Like, I don't know if you guys have, but everyone's like, how long does it take to do that?
Right.
Yeah.
How long does it take to sound like Whitney Houston? How long does it take to paint like Picasso? And so we've all been there and had it, and it's really nice to see it in a funny way that you can still do it. You don't
Yeah.
have to be great at it, but you can get something done.
Right, she's kind of, Nicole's becoming like the every woman. Like, you can do this too if you put your mind to it or you just have the gumption to make it happen. So thank you, Nicole. I already feel more motivated.
I'm going to go home and paint something tonight.
I know, me too.
I'm going to go run a couple miles just because I bet Nicole could do that for an episode. You know, maybe.
While painting.
Yeah, maybe an episode could be Nicole the Olympian.
I feel like she would bring something up like that.
It's probably going to happen
It
because
is
she
gonna
wanted to be a
happen.
dancer. She always,
Yeah.
I feel like something physical is going to happen this season.
Yeah.
Because she always does that.
There was one, or last season too, where she wanted to be like an acrobat. Or
Oh, yeah.
Where she was like, she took a class.
She has a really fun life. Every time I watch her, I'm like, just to be able to do these activities for fun must be really nice. To anything you think of, you're like, all right, we can put this on TV and someone will enjoy it, and it's
Right.
always good.
It makes me wonder what she was like as a kid. And speaking of her childhood, towards the ending of the episode and of the gallery, we see her tribute to her father when she gives her presentation. Papa, why
What,
Papa?
That was the best scene. The way they ended this was the best.
Okay, did anyone else think that was the best art piece?
Yes.
Because the entire time I'm watching,
Good.
I'm like, okay, she's performed for a long time. This is really good. Like,
Yeah.
not good in the sense that I would go and pay money for it,
Right.
but it's good to watch from the comfort of my own home because
Right.
she committed to it.
Yeah.
The
Total
audience
commitment.
was like, what is going on? This cannot be real. And she's like, this is real. This is actually happening.
Right, just for a refresher for you guys. So Nicole has her statue of a head of Lionel Richie, her father. And if you guys remember, I think it was in the music video for Hello where they had his head in his statue. So kind of a homage to that from way back when. It kind of looked like a chia pet to me, to be honest.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought it
Too.
was. I'm like, oh my gosh, they have a Lionel chia pet. I'm gonna order that on Amazon when I get home. Hopefully, I'll find a Nicole one. But I like that it had her hair.
Her
Yes.
wig, her pink hair.
Yes. How
Yes.
did she describe it? She said the head because of him and his career affecting her childhood, and then the wig because that's her and that's the culmination of her issues.
That was
Which-
the name of the piece.
Yes.
Issues.
Yeah. So what was your first reaction when she ripped off her pants and revealed her velvet leotard?
I knew something good was gonna happen. Right when she did that, and she's like, lights, and then it went all dim. She's like, I was expecting her to come out with like a poem or something, and she did.
I couldn't look away, but I couldn't wait till they cut to Lionel because I feel like he knows. I feel like he knows what he signs up for all of these. She goes home and she's like, "Dad, so we're doing this episode, and this is what it's gonna be." And he's like, "Yeah, Nicole, I'll definitely do that." And then he gets there and he's just like, "Why did I say yes to this?" Again, every single time I put myself in this position, and he's like, knowingly, maybe not this time. He has like a little hope. He's like, "No, I won't be the sacrificial
Right.
piece in this." And he
And he
was,
was.
but it made for such good TV.
Oh
It was great. His
It was so
reaction,
funny.
right when she's like, "This one's for you, Dad," or like,
You
"Why,
could-
Papa? Why?" He was like, "Oh no, Nicole."
You could see how uncomfortable he was. He was just like turning around. He was just like, "Oh my gosh, how long is this gonna go?" It
looked
was
like he
taking an
sweating
eternity.
bullets deep down.
But she was really good. Maybe she needs to do like more performing art pieces.
Yeah.
Right.
And it makes me wonder, like, okay, when she was doing that, when that scene was going, if she on the inside she was like, "This is so outlandish. This is just the craziest thing I've ever done."
Right. But her facial expressions are always so committed to whatever she has to say, whether it's completely outlandish or so simple.
Which makes you think this is real. Like these are the parts that are really real because she could crack in the middle of that, and I guess they could edit it out, but everyone in there is like watching this, like so. I could not
engaged.
turn away. They
Yeah.
have to see what she's going to do, and then when she smashes that Lionel head,
Crying. Real tears. Crying.
oh my gosh! And his face was just like, okay, well, I guess now I don't have to spend $1,000 on that.
Right.
But
So another quick refresher. So before the actual performance piece of that, she took Lionel over to see the statue with the wig and explained the piece to him, and he didn't want anyone to buy it. He was so against it. I
He
think
was
that
probably
one.
so embarrassed.
Oh yeah.
well, he goes. People think I'm the reason you have issues. Like all the things that you've done in your life are because of me. And he's
Right.
like, I'm just gonna take this off your hands. And it was $17,000.
Crazy.
And it went down to 1,000.
Right.
That's all he paid for. Or
He
he's gonna pay for-
negotiated
yeah.
with
Yeah.
Jensen, who. Did anyone else notice the names they gave everyone for this episode? They're all their names are always listed first, and all the episodes are like this. But underneath, Nicole must give them like a nickname.
Like nicknames,
Yeah.
yeah.
And she gave Jensen guardian of the gallery. And all of them are very clever and very witty.
Yeah.
And so he must have negotiated this price down for the head to $1,000. $16,000 off. That's pretty good.
And then Jensen also mentions that this is the only piece that anyone wants to buy. And only out of everything in the
Yeah.
gallery.
He was the only one who wanted to buy something from the gallery. No one else wanted to buy anything.
Right. So then going back to her performance, you know, big spectacle, she does her spoken word, which was actually so clever. Everything about that was hilarious. And then drops the only piece she was going to sell.
And I love how she ended it too. She's like, hello? No. Goodbye. She just like throws it.
His lyrics in the performance were probably the best part. But I liked how the one guy at the end ran up to take a piece, like no one would notice. And then apparently Jensen said that they were like selling off the pieces.
Right. He was
Everyone
saying it was
wanted
like the
pieces.
Berlin Wall. Everyone just wanted a piece of the destruction.
So she was happy about that.
I think she was happy to sell anything.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what it was. All the pieces on the wall were still there. Really the worst thing in there, which I wonder who made that. I wonder what artist was contracted to be like, we're going to do this one. You're going to help Nicole make this piece. Because it really did look like a chia pet.
It looked like a chia pet. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And well, now it's not a chia pet anymore. Now it's just broken pieces in people's
It's
hands.
just chi, no pet.
Chi no pet.
Well,
That sounds
Lionel
like an
was
Instagram
definitely
name.
happy about that, probably at the end.
my
When
God, that
he
would-
saw it destroyed, he's like, oh.
That's like
need to take that
sometimes
home
you
with me.
see the wax figures made at Madame Tussauds,
Madame Tussauds, yeah.
and you just think, that doesn't look anything like them. That is so scary.
Yeah.
And so for him to walk up and be like, is this your representation of me? Because I am a little frightening, especially with the pink hair on it.
Wouldn't you? I would think of that as kind of an insult too. Like, do you really think I look like that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm your father. You think I look like this ugly structure that you've just placed on a pedestal right now?
I think he forgot about the statue as soon as she opened her mouth and was just like, you are the root of all my issues I've ever had because you were out on the road and I'm home. And
Right.
her spoken word was just phenomenal. I wish we could play that back right now because it's so
It
good.
was great. I loved it.
It was fantastic. So she leaves the gallery. Well, they start to leave the gallery because at least she sold something, the pieces, and that pretty much wraps up her experience as an artist. And, you know, go her, because at least she accomplished something.
She did
You
the
know?
whole thing. Like, whatever the pieces were on the wall that she actually did, she went out and did it. And the sketch class for me was probably her best moment out doing it because that takes real commitment to go
Yeah.
in there and try and sketch something. And from what we saw that she was doing, she was trying.
Yeah.
And I can't draw to save my life.
Do
So
you guys remember when she asked the teacher, she said, if it gets cold in here, this could change my art? Was crying on the inside.
But artists actually have to worry about, which I thought was funny because people worry about like lighting in a building or anytime they're drawing anything, there's so many outside stimuli that could affect how it looks. I'm like,
Right.
of course that's what she's focusing on right now. She's so distracted by the man's penis
Yeah.
that she doesn't care. She's like, okay, we're gonna keep the heat on. What are we doing? Do I keep looking at it in the same way? Let me take a
Right.
picture for a refresher. She really needed to make sure that his anatomy was correct.
Right. But guys, if you could rate her on a scale of, I guess, we'll give her A, B, C, D, F on her, you know, time as an artist, what would you guys give her?
Give her a B minus.
Okay.
I'd give her a solid B because it's a lot to do.
Yeah.
She spray painted, she tagged, she sketched.
Well, her tagging,
she
I
performed.
really liked her tagging. When we saw the heart and everything, I thought that was really cute.
I like her obsession with chickens.
Yes.
she had the photos of the chickens. So anyone who hasn't seen
Season one.
season
Yeah.
one,
Yes.
she wanted to raise chickens. So she thought that this would get her in with the other moms who did like the free range chickens at her kids' school.
Yeah.
And again, very LA.
Yep.
And so now there's always like nods to the chicken.
Yes.
Anytime something happens, you'll see like a little chicken. She talked about the chicken in the last episode, I think.
Right.
She had the picture and the drawing and the tag of the chicken this time. So I think the chickens are here to stay.
Yeah, when she tagged it, the first thing that came to my mind was season one when she
chicken
was
coop.
at the farm. The chicken farm.
With the gay chickens. That was so good.
Well, it's nice to see more instances of continuity. I'm going to give her an A. I mean, art is hard, but also art is up for interpretation. So, you know, what might be hideous to me, like the Lionel Richie head, could be literally gorgeous, amazing art to someone else. So just the fact that she did fill up that whole art gallery with something, and she had like 2 weeks, I believe, from when Jensen first introduced the idea to when the art gallery actually happened. I give her an A for effort. Go Nicole, because I couldn't do that.
I'd be interested to know what the listeners of AfterBuzz think about her art. They should tweet us and give us a rating of what they think, because everyone's opinion is different. We got 2 B's and an A. Some people may think that she is terrible. They don't care if it's on TV.
Yeah.
Get out of here. And to catch up on the last episode, so you kind of know what we're talking about as the episodes go on, don't forget to download on iTunes so you can keep up with us and what's going on with Nicole through the episodes.
So definitely tweet at us so we can hear what you guys rated, and then rate us through how many stars you want to give us on iTunes, YouTube. Comments are totally welcome. We want to know what you guys want to talk about as far as Candidly Nicole. Maybe you want more than just letter ratings. Let us know so that we can make this show better for you. And now I think we're getting into a special time we like to call predictions.
Ooh.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, so I believe you had some Lionel Richie related piece to add.
Poor Lionel. I feel for that man so much, because he's like committed as a dad. Every episode that he's ever in, he is really there for her.
Fully.
But she recently, do you remember last episode I told you about her going on Jimmy Kimmel? And she did that interview and she spoke about how terrible Lionel has had it, really her entire life. But he was the butt of her meanest practical joke. And she plays a lot of them, apparently. This is an area that she really loves to tackle.
She totally looks like she would be a genius when it comes to pranking of all sorts.
Apparently she's hacked Kim and Chloe's Twitter twice in the last 2 years, which I thought was funny. But this joke that she played on Lionel was so mean. Immediately after she left rehab, and I think she's been a couple of times, she had one of her friends call Lionel at 3:30 or 4 in the morning to say that she had been picked up by the Nevada police on a cocaine possession. No, that's a really cruel joke.
That's terrible.
It's funny now, and I'm sure he can laugh about it, but at that time,
it's like 10 years
that's
later.
Not funny. Like, that is a really cruel one, and so I think the caliber of practical joke really depends on the person.
Right.
But I'm sure now, reflecting on it, as she kind of told Jimmy, she's like, that was probably on the meaner side of a joke, not so much joke as a real life situation that he probably endured and does not think is funny in the moment.
Do you think we're going to see more pranks?
Yes, because now he can take it. There's nothing he can't take. He's so immune
He's
to
so
it.
not fazed anymore.
No, he's just like, just keep giving it to me and I guess I'll handle it.
That's so funny. I hope she does a prank on one of these future episodes. Like, lets us in on this whole pranksterness. I would love to get some tips and ideas.
I feel like the show is her prank. I feel like she's punking us all. She's like, you guys are so silly. Look at you watching all this, enjoying it.
Right.
She knows what she's doing. She is so smart.
Right, which is, part of why we love the show so much is it's showing her personality, but it's also very clearly edited so that she doesn't reveal too much. So she is you're right, she is pranking us.
Well, I think in the next episode we saw a little clip. I feel like she wants to prank her dad when she gets the
doppelganger.
Yeah. That looked nothing like her. Nothing like her.
In the final still, really, of the trailer for the next episode, you see her doppelganger. I hope it's one of many. I hope she gives a lot of people different tries, because when she's going through it, she's talking about anyone can do it. I think she's talking to Catherine. She's like, there's no look that can't be done. I'll make it work. So I'd really like if a man was in there as her doppelganger. I think that would be hilarious.
That would be so funny. I heard a promo for this upcoming episode, and she was saying in the promo, I want a 6-foot, really dark skinned model to play me. Meanwhile, she's all of like maybe 5'1". So. Light skin,
a very specific look.
Right, Hazel. So it's, I don't know if she understands the definition of doppelganger.
I don't think so, because the one we saw sitting with her dad looked nothing like her, and she had purple hair.
Right, at least get the color right.
I just like what Lionel said. Your face looks different. That was to me. I'm just like, he's sitting there drinking his coffee again. He's like, well, I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to keep going along with it.
Just going to roll with the punches.
Can we talk about my false prediction from last week?
Yes. So
I said that Sophia was going to be a huge part of the season, but that's not the case, is it?
Right. And unfortunately, it's not. I was doing some research and saw that Sophia Ricci, her sister, unfortunately won't be making an appearance this season, which we're pretty sad about, because she's super cute. Nicole's, I believe, her only sibling. And she's also model on the rise. She's the face of Material Girl, Madonna's line. So I would have thought it would have been really good PR for her also to appear on the show. But, you know, maybe Lil Sis is just trying to make a name for herself. Not getting involved.
I'm so sad about that, though. She really is so funny.
She's funny. First season, she was really funny.
She's, to me, when her and Nicole are on screen together, she's the very, like, I can't think of the word now. She's like the parent almost. She's like very level-headed, and Nicole's really crazy, but she's younger, so you get this really weird dynamic of her younger sister almost parenting Nicole into being like, no, we can't do that right now, honey, because we have other things we have to do. And she's been the best part of some of the past episodes, so hopefully that's not true. Hopefully we'll at least see a little glimpse of her.
At least by the finale. Maybe like a little, hey, I'm here, I'm alive.
Otherwise, we'll just have to keep up with her on the runway.
Right, on the runway, on Instagram, total Ricci fan on Instagram of all sorts.
We talked about that last episode, that she does the best Instagrams. And so I went back and looked, and I was just like, there's nothing she can't do. Photography probably would be her best artistic ability. Because she does do really great photos.
Yeah, and even going back to the episode, her photos of the male that was nude were actually pretty good.
Like, when she edited them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she like made them black and white and started adding like little pictures to it.
Yeah.
I thought they'd be something that you see kind of on the side of the road plastered on like a construction board or something.
Right. It looked like, you know, one of those Instagram pictures you would see in the discovery page with a million likes, because we all love pictures like that on Instagram.
There's no telling what she can do.
Right. But what would you guys, I guess going into predictions some more, what do you all predict might be another future career that she will adopt for one of these future episodes?
I think she's going to rap. Or I think she already did rap, huh?
She wanted to be a hip-hop person.
Well, maybe she's going to rap.
Nikki Fresh.
Nikki Fresh.
Nikki Fresh on the mic.
I think she's going to bake. I have this feeling that she has young kids. She's doing all these, like, baked good sales. I think she's going to try and like cultivate that skill. And I think it's going to make for really great TV.
Nicole Richie, a la Rachel Ray, Martha Stewart.
Oh, we can hope. We can hope for a guest star.
Oh my gosh, that would be such a great cameo. Especially after Martha Stewart did that Justin Bieber roast. That would be hilarious, the two of them together. Okay, I'm thinking something like being an astronaut, which, you know, we can't really do in America anymore because I don't think NASA sends astronauts into space, but maybe a cosmonaut. She can go to Russia, become an astronaut, go to space camp.
If we put her up in space, I think that I would vote for that. I'd vote for bringing NASA back to send people into space if it's Nicole Richie.
Yes, that would be hilarious. And I'm still looking forward to that if it ever does happen. But we'll see, because there's still so much of the episodes left to go. But I guess this is about the time where we can say goodbye and tell everyone where we can find each other online to continue these lovely conversations.
All right, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at BAMARLO.
And you guys can find me at Jordana_Morphin on Instagram and on Twitter.
And as always, you can find me at BibaciouslyViv on Instagram and on Twitter, and of course at BibaciouslyVivian.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, tuning in. Make sure you watch next week's episode. She's going to be getting a doppelganger, and we're going to be talking about it.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you
later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.